you participated in the leadership initiative last year.
I did.
And we're rolling out the same, a revamped leadership initiative for 2021. And we'd love to get some of your impressions. Why did you choose it in the first place? Maybe we'll start there.
Okay. Yeah. So I joined the leadership initiative like 1 month after I started at the city of Littleton. And yeah, a large part of my position as the city's budget analyst, and they had never had a dedicated budget analyst before, was the implementation of priority-based budgeting, which honestly I hadn't really worked with before. So what better way, to learn PBB than to jump in headfirst? And I, which I did. The timing was right. I have a personal philosophy of, saying yes to as many opportunities as you can, and it worked out great.
Yeah, and why? What was most impactful to you?
So I really got a lot out of being able to hear from other communities and how they were applying and implementing PBB and the challenges that they were having to overcome, what was working for them, what wasn't. I definitely came away from the class with more ideas just from the participants themselves. And also a little bit of comfort in knowing that we weren't the only one having some challenges in implementation. That was great, sort of just the emotional support part of that. But as far as the actual course content itself, I would have to say that the most impactful for me probably was the focus on the change management piece and the cultural piece of the PBB implementation. I think that PBB sort of makes a lot of sense to most finance and budget people who tend to be, data and numbers oriented anyway. But in order for PBB to be successful, you have to get the whole organization on board, from top to bottom, and your elected officials as well. And so just grasping the concepts of change management and how that fits into PBB. And Eric Heck just did the most amazing job of illustrating that and providing insight from his career and his experience and providing resources to work through that and understand it. The change dynamics of PBB implementation were just really great.
I think it's really important what you're saying, especially that your takeaway was on change management and the cultural elements of this work. I would agree with you. PBB in and of itself, the ingredients, a program inventory, cost per program, alignment with outcomes, even applying the blueprint, it's pretty straightforward. So to say, well, we're going to take these programs and we're going to look for opportunities for reallocation. We're going to look for opportunities for generating new revenue and partnerships. That part of the equation seems tidy. It's the other secret sauce of the leadership that it requires to get departments to pick 3 programs and submit, or the approach to change management that you can get a police chief to come up with the programmatic idea that they did. Those are tougher to nail down. What is it that you were able to do to bring leadership to your success? And I don't know quite how to ask the question, but can you put your finger on, is it coming from Mark? Is it Sama, Tiffany, Erlene, yourself? How is that leadership and cultural aspect being addressed, or was it already there when you came in?
So we are very fortunate. What I've heard is that sometimes the implementation of PBB, the driving department or the idea comes from, like the finance or budget department. For us, our city manager, Mark Ralph, he had come from an organization previously that had utilized PBB, and he was very aware of the benefits and saw how Littleton could benefit from it. So we already had the tone at the top kind of covered. We already had that executive, sponsorship of it. And then Sama Fox, holy cow. I mean, she's just amazing. I can't even begin to tell you how instrumental she is in the success of PBB and like, I don't know, a million other things at the city, quite frankly. But just, you know, just having that tone at the top leadership has been really instrumental. And then just I mean, I really, if I could really just offer one piece of advice, it really is sort of all of that change management stuff. It is things like celebrating victories. I think that at Littleton, we do that particularly well. We had a taco party 2 years in a row. We had an award ceremony last year, you know. Something that I think is really important, why I brought up the book drive, is sort of, you know, understanding, you know, different motivations that can get people on board, different personality types, you know, what they're looking for, what resonates with different people, you know, so just kind of understanding that, having cheerleaders for PBB, you know, having our designated group of, we call them PBB All-Stars. We involve people at all levels of the organization, which I think is super important, especially for the practical application of the program review. You know, before you can make changes to a program, you got to understand how the program works, and not just how the program should work, but how it actually works. And the people doing that job on a day-to-day basis are often the ones who have the best insight into some of the opportunities that are there versus just the management, quite frankly. So involving the organization at all levels, cheering them on, you know, just kind of driving home why PBB, you know, is amazing, what it does for you, what it does for the organization, what it does for our citizens. I think all of that together is what has made us successful in that change management piece so far.